Here's the scenario. My name is Brad, and I'm a real estate agent that's growing my business. I've been working as an individual agent, but I realized the old saying, if you don't have an assistant, you are an assistant, now applies to me. So I need to hire somebody to help me with the tasks that don't require my expertise. So what I've done is I've hired an assistant named Mary. Now, I'm logged into the TRANS-TRAC system. As you can see up here, I'm logged in as Brad. Mary is out in the field, and she's using the same system on her cell phone. And you'll see that she's logged in as Mary. I'm going to show you how we work together, and I'm going to assign some tasks, or at least one task, to her. And she's going to complete it, and we're going to see how easy that can be done. So as an agent, my first step is to make sure that the instructions for completing each task are accurate or appropriate for my company and my team. So I go to my board, and it shows that I'm a member of a couple of different teams, and if I don't select a team from the drop down on the transactions board, I can go to I'm going to use install Lockbox as the example. If I click on the heading install Lockbox, a generic set of instructions comes up that comes with every subscription to the TRANS-TRAC system. So I will edit that specifically for one team. How you do that is I select the team that I want the instructions for. I'm going to select AFX Research, and you'll see the other transactions disappear from the board, and only that team's transaction shows up. And when I select the install Lockbox instructions, I can now edit them because there's an edit procedure button. So let me take you through the instructions that I want my assistant to follow when she's out in the field. The first thing is one, obtain the spare keys from the seller clients. Step 2, test the keys to make sure they work properly. The third step is consult with the clients, if they're available, on where to secure the lockbox to the property. Step 4 is secure the lockbox with the key inside of it. Now I'm going to edit this part of the instructions because each way of securing a lockbox will be different. I'm going to assume that you're using a mechanical lockbox, and you want your assistant, I'm going to want my assistant Mary to know the code to open the lockbox and get it secured to the property. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Edit Procedure, and the basic generic instructions show up below. And I can then place my cursor there and say use code 1234 to open box. Hit space, and I hit save. So when she's out in the field, she'll have that code now. Then the next step is to click the complete button in the TRANS-TRAC system, and number 6, document all the steps taken within the TRANS-TRAC system, and I'll show you how that's done as well. So I simply close that. Now I need to create the tasks that go along with a listing. So the first thing I do is I click on the address, and the transaction page comes up. I've already put in the dates, the list date and expiration date, and the list price. And when I scroll down, you'll see there are no tasks, but the button is available to load the listing task list. So when I click on that button, you'll see the tasks for the listing pop up, not only on the computer, but where Mary's logged in, they also show up at the bottom of the list on her phone. So she's now aware that those tasks exist, but that hasn't been assigned to her. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and click the install the lockbox task, and it comes up, and the 3 people on our team is myself, Joe Smith, and Mary Agent. I want to assign this task to Mary, so I click Assign to Mary, and you'll notice that on her phone it shows up that it's assigned to her. But the next thing she's gonna do is when she's out in the field, she's gonna click on the list of Mary's tasks, and it will show up on her task list. Install Lockbox on Bradford Lane. And so she can then go out to the property and click on the Install Lockbox task, and it pops up on her phone just like it is on the computer. Then she simply scrolls up on her phone, reads the instructions, which now include secure lockbox using code 1234 to open the box. Now let's assume she's talked to the customer and they want to they want the box to go on the side of the house, not on the front door. So I'm going to go back to the transaction itself, Bradford Lane on the computer, and we'll scroll down a little bit. I've got some sample notes that have been stored here, but you'll also see in a moment she's going to add the notes. So she simply taps on the timestamp notes in the task while she's in the field and makes a note saying attached box to side door, and hits save note to transaction. Once she's hit that save note to the transaction, it shows up here. Time, date, and stamped. Attached box to side door is completed by Mary because that's who was logged in. She didn't have to put her own name in. The system knows who wrote that note, the date and the time, and it was entered from the task Install Lockbox. Now, if I were to put a note in from the transactions page and not from the task page, it won't note that it's a task. So I'm going to write demo for YouTube video, and I click save note, and you'll see it was 1 minute later that I entered this task, and it was from the transactions page, not from the task page. So anyway, that's a quick overview of how to complete a task or create a task, assign it to an assistant, having them complete it while they're in the field, and seeing it here, which if I go back to the transactions page, you'll also notice, oh no, she hasn't actually completed it yet. So I'm going to go back to her phone and click the button that says click to complete, and I'm going to say that yes, it was completed today, and I mark it complete on the phone, and it automatically shows up green, completed by Mary on the 22nd. So now you have how to create tasks, assign them to someone, have them complete it by following the instructions that have been customized for your particular team, and then have it show up here. Anyway, thanks for using the TRANS-TRAC system, and watch for more updates coming as we make this even more easy to use.